shot. This was a hard ass shot of Kizaru looking up, and then we like the POV of like how big Luffy actually is, and this is where I could kind of feel that size. Pause. From this
All right, we got Luffy versus Kizaru, the Whimsical. I ain't gonna lie. Luffy in Gear 5 is a goddamn menace, boy. Especially if you watch that last episode. Not only did this nigga grab this nigga and launch that nigga into the stratosphere. Well, not a stratosphere, but he launched that nigga way out in the ocean. This man had the audacity to shrink down to normal size and was just floating in the air while he was watching Zoro fight. Oh boy. He talking about Zoro. You alright? Need some help? Zoro like, nah, I got this. You worry about the light, nigga. Oh man, that was crazy. I was like, God damn, Luffy. Boy, you feeling yourself extra hard, ain't it? But anyway, shout out to the boy Jules that for another video, and let's get into it.
Hey yo, Luffy, watch your ass out, bruh. You almost stepped on us. And when you get the chance, make sure you cut these damn toenails. I almost got skewered, bruh. And I think your middle one has an infection. You should get this shit checked out. My fault, yo, my fault. Wow, you got quite big. This reminds me of that one time I paid for a dominatrix and she manhandled the fuck out of me. I'm getting flashbacks to that. What a good time that was. OG, I don't know what you're saying, but you're freaked the hell out. That aside, we are not handing over Apple Jacks. That is not happening. You know, I just appreciate it if you let me do what they pay me week in and week out to do, rather than interfering like this. OG number one, that's not happening. That's not happening.
I ain't gonna lie, that nigga was sweating, boy.
Or something? And number two, since you were talking about your past, let me give you a little look into mine. But you see, you kind of remind me of the action figures I used to stick up my butt. And I'm thinking of doing the same thing. I know I started with this shit, but like, this is the problem with this new generation. I think I'm gonna tell Kainu I'm retiring after this. I keep telling my grandkids that the generation they're growing up with has no chance. All this new technology, like I barely even still know what a transponder snail is. How does that work? None of these kids appreciate a 9 to 5. And we have this freaked out Titan talking about getting poop on me, bruh. I just don't know. Maybe some other time, OG, but I think you got somewhere to be. Let me show you how I hit this shit at the bowling alley. And get the fuck out. Yeah, so coming into this episode, especially
Launch,
week,
nigga.
I thought it was going to be straight off the bat. We were getting into this Luffy and Kizaru scuffle. But we kind of start back at home base with Vegapunk. And he's tweaking out because he didn't know Bonnie's status. So he dials up Frankfurt really quick. Frank! Frank, you hear me? Yes, VP, loud and clear. I'm getting intel right now that Bonnie's down there. Is that true? Oh, she's alive? That's great. Let me tell you, OG, Kizaru pulled up looking like a prime Shawn Michaels. That kick kicked her ass into orbit. I'm telling you, it was some crazy stuff. Kicked? How does a grown-ass man like you let her get kicked, bruh? Broad-ass shoulders and you can't even act as a shield for her. What the hell is your... No, VP, that's completely on me. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go save her right now. Your ass better, I swear to... And he almost puts Vegapunk in cardiac arrest, which also has Sandy start tweaking out that a hand was put on her. But we also learned later this episode, which I already knew just because I feel like everyone was talking about it when the manga was at this part. But later on in this episode, we actually find out her real age. And Sanji gets a pass now, obviously, because he then learns about this. But when it comes to her in the future, he better not be operating on the same type of timing. And no, speaking of Bonnie, we see her transform into her younger, which I'm assuming is actually her like current age. And she starts putting on a fucking clinic. And I don't recall ever seeing her really work like this. And after seeing her kind of transform at will to her older body to then her younger body to help her like move more nimbly and stuff like that. And she was like taking out Marine after Marine in terms of like making them either older or younger. She damn near has the most broken devil fruit in the show. And now granted, she has to get in the weight room and get her cardio up because she was like huffing and puffing after this. But like other than that,
I mean, weight room ain't gonna help a 10-year-old get no better, nigga. She's 10.
So we get to the main part.
It doesn't matter if she make herself older.
2 fights, and Zoro and Lucci were kind of going at it, shit talking each other, because obviously Zoro is second in command to Luffy. So they both of them have a bunch to prove this fight, because if Rob Lucci gets beat by Zoro, he's washed and he should just hang it up. So he kind of has to win this fight, and then for Zoro, it's like I feel like for the audience, he kind of has to win this fight because then it'll show like how not necessarily how close he is to Luffy, but how powerful he is in this world of One Piece because of how we perceive Lucci as kind of being.
Pretty much if Zoro win this fight, this is just him showcasing his new sword power. His new sword power, you know what I'm saying? He got cuz he got the he talked to death and he came back. So, this is going to be him actually using Enma after he done got a good hang on her. Good control. After him and Emma done had a conversation and he spoke to death itself. Brooks' brother. So, I wonder if Brook is related to the Soul King. I wonder if Soul King actually met Death, the Reaper. What kind of conversation would they have? Would they both be trying to see somebody panties? Nah. Anyway, off topic, but let's get back to it.
And a formidable foe to Luffy himself, you know what I'm saying? And Zoro was talking his shit because Lucci was trying to tap into those primal instincts and hunt him down like a big cat should. But Zoro was saying that's not going to work because he was catching whiffs of his drawer smell, so he'll know exactly where he'll be. And that's exactly what happened. Lucci tried sneaking him, and Zoro was just following the trail of the crop dust. And them going back and forth, they had some good, subtle, like little choreography. And that's how you know Lucci's washed, because Zoro was deadass having a whole conversation with Luffy about which one of them should get the luxury of beating his ass. And that was after he hit that nigga with a primary lotus. Yeah. Oh, you're fighting Lucci. Zoro, you want my...
Yeah, see what I'm talking about? Look at this shit. This nigga is literally flying in the air. Right there by their fight. Nigga just over there chilling, laid out. Feet crossed. Like, hey, bro, you need some help? Nigga, the fuck are you doing? That's why I was like, yo, this nigga Luffy is on some straight timing right now, nigga. Well, that Gear 5 got him feeling himself.
My help, twin? Or you got this one? No, I'm good. Hey. But after this whole thing is done, we may have to make a couple calls, because PETA is going to hate my ass after they see what I do to this feline. Jokes aside, real talk, if this is all you got, I'm going to be walking my ass back to the ship in a cheetah print coat. You surely are strong enough to be the number 2 of an Emperor of the Sea, but guess what number 2 is? Poop. Number 2 is poop, bro. That shit's not original. And yeah, I am the shit, and what of it? And yeah, so their fight's definitely going to be interesting, but the Kizaru and Luffy exchange was very interesting to me, because watching it, reacting to it, like for the people that see it, I feel like usually, especially for One Piece, if something very grand is going on, animation-wise, I'm damn near naked. Not actually, but like that's how I feel like. But with this scene, it was probably one of the most beautifully and well-crafted scenes in the show up to this date. But I damn near wasn't even surprised. Like, I was watching it and I was just kind of watching it in awe and admiration of like how far we've come and just the shit that we are going to continue to get on a weekly basis from this show, because they had this exchange looking like EDC Orlando with the type of colors that they were using. It was so fucking beautiful, because we see Kizaru trying to show the younger generation that he still got it. I'm sure he's been informed of people like Sung on the horizon with the ore farming antics and stuff like that, and the type of things the kids are doing nowadays.
So the nigga had
he was showing us his
he had the ore farm a little bit. Look at him.
About in the last episode, how he probably like went to the roller rink back in his prime with that smoothness to him, because he's beaming through the air right now like a missile. And this man has his legs crossed and his arms crossed like he's reclining on his sleeper chair. And somehow throughout all of this, he kept the Versace shades on, which you have to commend him for. And after this, I really can't deny that he is not the smoothest nigga in the show. He is like top 3. Just drippiest, swaggiest, whatever you want to call it, he's got that shit on. And then we see him use his light to kind of slide himself airborne, and then he beams right back at Luffy. And the shots that we were getting were so fucking stupendous, bruh. It was genuinely just a laser light show. And he hit this man with a shadow clone. And everything about this shit, the impact frame, seeing this frame of the light going through Luffy's hand and we see his skeleton.
Yeah.
That shit was ridiculous. Like, this was the most visually, like, I barely even know how to explain it. Like, it was just beautiful. And it was just so...
Look, man, just say it, man. That 6 months break was well worth it. These niggas came back refreshed, and ready to rumble, bro. Cause they put their foot in that episode, boy. This nigga hit that nigga with the shadow clone jutsu, and that nigga Luffy was over there. Weave, 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 pop, pop, weave, weave, whip, weave, 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 weave. Gotcha, gotcha. It was beautiful, boy. Especially when you get that third person, first person views switches. Them boys are putting on a show in the episode. Like, God damn. Like, this is what a good animation and good rest gets you, boy. Like, jeez.
And seeing this shot, this was a hard ass shot of Kizaru looking up, and then we like the POV of like how big Luffy actually is, and this is where I could kind of feel that size. Pause. From this angle, this is where I can really feel that size.
Pause.
Really
got
that size and
pause.
See how huge this dude is. And it's just
pause
weird
again.
him like this because I said it in the reactions. Like obviously he has his Gear 3 thing, and we've seen that many times. But again, seeing him be like Zunisha sized, it just felt so off. But like it was so cool to see at the same time.
Again,
just seeing Kizaru run up his arm and him swatting him away like fucking flies. And with the way Luffy ran away and got all of the Kizarus into one line, you could tell that he was a regular on Black Ops 2 Zombies in the day, with the way he trained them up and then got them all with one hit just so he could conserve ammo. That was beautiful stuff. And what does Grams do? He sees that he's outmatched and he goes straight to choking Usopp out. And when we see Vegapunk and Atlas driving away in the Tonka with Sanji on top, that's where we learn about the Bonnie's age thing very slightly. But aside from the fight, I think this was probably the coolest part of the episode when Kizaru tried sniping him and Luffy deadass just eats the shit and just starts shooting lasers all over the place while laughing, and it just shows like how busted this ability really is. And I feel like him and Kizaru to the death one-on-one, if he could sustain Gear 5, he wins. I just don't see Kizaru winning that. I mean, obviously, I'm sure Kizaru hasn't put it all out on the table, but still, it's just like with him being able to tank his moves like that, I just don't see how Kizaru wins that. But maybe I'm ignorant. And the last thing we see is
yeah, because the whole thing is that Luffy hasn't gotten into the Gear 5 bag yet. He hasn't even started altering the terrain, and he still ain't even altering Kizaru yet. Cause pretty soon, nigga, he might start bending the light and turn that nigga into a glow stick jump rope. Like he did Kaido.
Changing their objective because Atlas tells them to then destroy all the Marines, and then we see Saturn at the end with his glass of Cabernet Sauvignon and some glitchy effects, and then a to be continued screen with his eyes opening. And it's like they've been doing the to be continued screens great. They've been really on top of them, and then that's the episode. And then next episode, I think he's gonna be pulling up on everyone. And from the preview, the animation looked good too. So we'll see what's happening that week. I may or may not do a review on it, depending on how good the episode is. But yeah, no, that's it though. Yeah, One Piece it's been doing One Piece things. It's been great, and I think.
Thank you for the breakdown, sir. Thank you for the breakdown.
But I'm not like super freaking out about it.
Oh damn, I ain't even got my own.
This stuff has kind of been spoiled in little tidbits for me, like the Luffy and Kizaru. Like I knew they were eventually going to fight, for example, and obviously seeing it is a little bit different. But like that part, for example, like I knew that was coming. Like I know Saturn is gonna pull up with his like, without spoiling people, of course, but he's gonna like pull up, and then other people may pull up and stuff like that. So it's like some of those things have been spoiled, unfortunately, but still it's been great nonetheless. Just watching this week in and week out. I'm gonna be starting God of War on the second channel. For those who are interested, I think that's gonna be a great time. And if you don't check that out or sub, I mean, you're fake. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. So, if you stayed to this part of the video, I appreciate y'all for watching. And sub to that channel, this channel, Road 100K, 1 point something K away. And yeah, that's it.
For that vision you had, I'm in the lab. My life really been bad. Now give me bad pen.
Oh shit. That's on my watch list. See, I think that is on my watch list. Watch list. Yep. So shoot.
I'm damn near.
Where that picture at? Come on.
Oh. Oh, you're fighting Lucy. Zoro, you want my help?
Yeah, there it is. That's the picture, bro. The picture that says it. That says everything. Like this nigga Luffy just chilling in the background of Zoro's fight, just straight enjoying himself. Like he ain't got nothing else better to do than just stand there and watch the fight. Like, yo, nigga, I'm good. I got my shit straight squabbled up. But anyway, shout out to the boy Jules Dot for dropping another banger. And let's move on to the next one on our list.